Welcome back to another episode of Scraps.
We're back. We have a guest. A guest hailing from all the way from the West Coast.
My brother.
Yeah, Lewis's twin brother. Yayo. What's up? Came back. Yeah.
In case you guys used to watch a nice little soccer show that used to be on here, but now it's on its own separate show.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah. You look, dude. The deal wasn't right.
Let's just say I didn't want to negotiate.
The percentage is wrong. No, yeah.
Call me Jerry Buzz.
One of the stars of With the Laces, a really good soccer show. Maybe I'm part of it. Maybe
really good soccer show. You know, one of the best soccer shows, I would say.
So good, it hasn't posted. But we're here, we're back. But you touched on something.
I wanted to talk about this because I got shitted on for being
bro.
30.
You got that unk status.
I got literally goddamn new coworker goddamn tell her that I'm a not freshly, but I'm a thriving young 30, and I just got told, damn.
So how old are you?
I'm 30.
Damn.
I'm just like, what the fuck? And what's crazy about it, like, it was, that's made me realize that, like, it's been multiple times that I've noticed that I've been like, oh shit, I'm 30. Because I've had people ask me, like, how old am I? I said, like, 20. I was like, oh, wait, no, 30.
That's what's happened to me, dude, for a while. I think it happened this year where I was like, oh, I'm 28. And then someone's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I'm 28. And then they're like, no, stop and think. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm 29. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because right now in this room, we have 29,
30,
31.
Freshly 31.
Freshly 31. Hey.
Honestly, I don't really care about being 31 because according to my weight scale, my metabolism is 28 years old. So
damn.
If we're talking about that, I'm a freshly 66.
Yeah, according to science, I have the heart of an 80-year-old.
Like, I shouldn't be alive.
And the cholesterol of a 35-year-old black man that's been eating pork all his life.
damn.
I'm like, oh my god, all the big feet.
Yeah, but that's to me like, you know what's something like that's why it's weird. People think like, I've seen a lot of memes on Twitter where it's like when you tell some of your age and you're like in your late 20s, you like slowly morph into that old man with a smile. You know,
I'm telling you, bro. I was just like, it was just so surprising to me that I'm just like, damn, like anybody not 30 considers this old.
I think so, and I think it's become relatively recent. That's the thing. I've never thought 30 was old in my head. I mean, even when I was like 20, I didn't think 30 was old. I think 30 was like.
I would say I always thought it was old.
I would have considered you an adult.
That's where I'm getting at. I would consider you more of like, oh, you probably have a house and shit.
I was like, oh, you're in this economy.
But to me, when I was like young 20, because I remember when because there's the polarizing feeling, right? Especially when you're young and you talk to someone older, we're like, oh, I'm 20. And they're like, man, you don't know shit. Like that. Yeah. There's that like feeling. And then there's the opposite where it's like a young person's like, oh, damn, you old. It's like you're out of touch. But in reality, I feel like 30 is when you really start getting like, I don't know, everything that you've learned, you kind of start trying to put into play.
I feel like when you get to this age, you're just like, yeah, I got dealt my blow. So like I can take the blows more efficiently.
You think so?
Because like I remember at like 28 or 27, I was like, where's the nearest bridge? Because this shit too much.
I would agree, yeah. I think once you hit 30, it's like, you're almost like, you know, like a veteran boxer, like the hits, you know, hit you hard, but you like kind of get up better in a way. Or you're kind of numb to it, I guess, compared to when you're like in your 20s, the hits kind of feel harder.
Yeah, we're on that. Who did the grill?
What do you mean? Paul Wall?
No.
What grill? Like
George Foreman. Yeah, we got that George Foreman.
Who did the grill? Like 20 in the top, 30 in the
Paul Wall. Also, rest in peace to George Foreman. He passed away recently.
Really?
Yeah.
He passed away like.
That's sad.
I think I was.
Was it a grill accident?
He killed his foot. He was trying to make. He was trying to wake up to Waken or something.
You know what's crazy? I'm curious if the people were trying to be like hitting that resell on those Foreman grills.
Oh, bro. Like, dude, like, okay, so I've seen that like 90s and 2000s technologies coming back. The Foreman grill has to come back.
I was like, bro, Raekwon the chef like this.
but Yayo touched on something interesting. Like he made a Michael Scott reference. So the actor Steve Carell, this is where I'm getting at, where like the whole 30 stuff. He didn't pop off he popped off when he was 32 when he recorded the 30-year-old version or the 40-year-old version.
Well, no, there's been a couple actors that even
Samuel L. Jackson at 40.
He
He got casted in Pulp Fiction. Like I think like it's not like the end all be all when you're 30.
Yeah, I would say because I feel like I got my shit together at 30. Like not because I was fucking up my life, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about getting old that makes you have more perspective. And so like maybe when you're young, you have like the zealotness, the zeal of a younger person, and so like you get blinded by what's nearest to you. But when you get older, you get like more clarity and you get the ability to kind of like adjust.
I start caring more about
Politics.
I wouldn't say
Damn,
to an extent,
my damn
to an extent, because I'm still very much of just like. That shit could be too much.
What do you mean?
When you start getting into like all the news shit that like
so the older you've gone, if you feel the more you've kind of gotten in contact with like news and shit.
Yeah, like I for sure like am more aware of like social standings of like what's going on nowadays, but at the same time I'm sticking to my night. I'm gonna figure out my shit to an extent.
I can't wait till I'm 30 and I get.
And then what's crazy, I feel like people. Shut the fuck. You literally got like 3 months. I feel like people are like, because me being 30, I'm just like, I'm like okay with like, okay, I'm still at my parents, but like if I tell people that like I live with my parents, I was like. But they don't know the circumstances. Yeah. They're just like, oh, this dude's a bum. But they don't know the circumstances that like
honestly,
you have.
I feel like that would have been right maybe a while back ago. But now it's different. I feel like people do that.
I feel like the goalpost move when it comes to being a bum. Because I think now being a bum isn't living with your parents. Because everybody has to fucking live with their parents right now. The houses are so fucking crazy. Renting. But now being a bum is like having no job. And like doing like having I don't know.
Trust me, I know a bum. There will be no names, but I know a bum.
No, but you're right. I feel like the scale of bum has moved because I feel like people are now more understanding on like living with family type shit because like money, like bro, you'd be surprised like how much rent would be crazy, dude. But like I think they're more accepting of that. I think it's the things surrounding the bum fucking behavior, like. Yeah, not being for example, motivated to do anything and just like pretty much bed rotting to me is bum. Yeah.
Going back to like my example, for example, if I told somebody I live with my parents, you don't know that I'm pretty much paying for everything there. Right, you don't know that pretty much like I'm taking care of my mother at this point because like she's getting goddamn what's that shit you get from the government after a certain age? That like they're trying to take away
Social Security.
Yeah, Social Security, but like again, that's nothing. That's goddamn.
Did you mean fraud, waste, and abuse or something like that? Nah.
That's stupid.
You mean
Doge?
You mean all this shit we're losing this?
That's good.
You mean the shit that we're just giving away to nobody?
Yeah,
but like that, and I'm just like that shit. It's like nothing.
Yeah, no. Because
like, bro, I don't know how they expect people to like live with like. I think she gets like 800. I'm just like. You can't live 800 a month,
like,
bro.
That's why like isn't the minimum wage still like fucking $9 or something?
It's $7.25.
Like
That's crazy. See, that to me, that's why I think people are more understanding because they know like, which is weird. Like everybody knows like, money shit is fuck shit, but like whatever.
But it's very rare that you'll have a job that'll offer you that.
What do you mean?
$7.25.
Dog, go to McDonald's. You'd be surprised.
No, they don't charge you that.
How much did you charge at McDonald's?
McDonald's will probably.
They'll McCharge you.
They'll McCharge you. Them McChickens ain't cheap. Nah, but like they usually like will have decent pay.
No.
You know what is a bullshit job is that security job that I think you were.
That security job you and I did is a bullshit.
BNL, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
it's like these assholes literally will make me drive to. If you're in the DFW area, you know where Allen is compared. That shit is far. For $7.25 for like 4 fucking hours.
Bro, I just pay for my gas.
Exactly, bro.
But going back to like whole age thing, right? Like, I don't think that's where you peak. I think 30 is not where you peak. I think 30 is when, like, you start getting, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's...
Well, I would say if you're, like, a healthy person, like, you know, not, like, some, like...
Man, what the fuck are you trying to say right now?
I feel
None of these two gentlemen to my right.
If you're not like two fat pieces of shit,
Doing it with their
bullshit
podcast.
I don't mean healthy like physically. I just mean like
Spiritually?
if
you got God.
if you let God in your life, if you
I would say if you like, do you just take the wheel in your life? No, I would say I feel like you never really peak. I feel like if you live for other people, I feel like you always peak, right? Because I feel like you never really see doing shit for yourself. You're doing it for the acclaim of other people. So then that's when you hit a peak or like whatever, a ceiling. But I feel like if you're doing that shit for yourself, I feel like you never really peak because you just kind of hit your goal and you keep moving on to the next thing, and you never really ever like stop peaking, kind of thing.
I'm just curious on like how many people that watch us or like in general are like in that cusp of being 30 and like. They're just like, damn, like I'm not doing. It's like I don't think like there's, especially because me going to 30, I didn't really like consider it like a crazy thing. I didn't really celebrate it in all reality. I think I watched the movie, but like it wasn't anything like ridiculous to me when I was there until like later on in my 30s, where like people were asking my age, and then I was accidentally saying I was like 20. Oh, and then I would correct myself to say 30. Then I'm just like, oh shit, like. I am like, because you say 20 for so long, for goddamn a decade.
Yeah, for a decade that you get so used to it.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I definitely. Now, I will say, I can definitely sense it that I am getting older because, like, you know how like there used to be 80s night like at places? Now there's like emo nights or like.
Well, emo nights have been a thing.
I know, but like I'm talking about like there's spots that are playing. Our jams that we grew up on,
bro.
It is basically like the previous generation before us. Is like,
the only good album from Two Door Cinema Club everybody calls like nostalgic, and I'm just like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Because I remember
Phoenix is like like considered old.
Old, yeah. Because dude, it's basically almost 20 years ago.
Yeah,
almost. We're like in the cusp of it. Like we're in the middle.
Yeah.
That's what's creepy about it. But I don't know. I don't subscribe to that notion.
And you start smelling onions everywhere.
We're in an undisclosed location.
Yeah. We're in a greenhouse.
Yeah, we snuck into a rich.
We're back in our high school greenhouse.
But I don't know. I think there's a lot of success to be done at the age of 30 because I feel like at the 20s is where you get to mess around.
I remember
and learn everything.
I remember when we first started doing Off-Center Thoughts, R.I.P. I was very
today.
I was very much of like, if I'm 30, I don't think I'd continue it if like I don't see any value in it. Where like now I'm just like, nah, being it and like doing like scraps, I'm just like, no, like it's one, I find it fun.
Yeah.
And then it's just like something that like for us it's enjoyable. Like it doesn't have to be like this thing that we have to like hold to like oh you can't do this because you're a certain age.
Yeah, no, I think that's I think that's
because like I think at that time I was just like, oh well, I gotta get my shit together by this time. Which is, I'm just like, I think that word getting your or like that phrase getting your shit together is like really like not I feel like it's not really what you think it is.
No, I agree because the thing is, and like maybe Yayo can confirm this, but like people think that by 30 you should have it all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I disagree wholeheartely with that. I think the perception was and is based on like number one, TV shows, bro. Like
Friends. Friends fucked us all up.
Yeah, Friends. Like
true.
a lot of shows that we grew up on. Like that was the, you know what I mean?
That was the age range.
That was the age range, and that was like, I guess you would say the archetype of like that thing.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like because most shows, at least the shows that I grew up watching, like the only thing they were missing in their life was finding the one.
Yeah.
And so
And they all said they all got it on 30.
Right on the
I'm still looking, goddammit.
Except for Ted Mosby and How I Met Your Mother. God took her away. But no, I think that's with shows, especially with shows. I don't know.
But yeah, and going back to what you're saying, I think it's very much of our generation felt that. I think because social media has been like this crazy thing. I think younger generation can understand because I think they'll still watch people like in our age range, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's not that crazy old."
No,
I was just like, but like for us, when we didn't have like that social media where like we're seeing people in that age range, we just had like fucking adults that we just see, and they're like, they can be like 20 something, and we're just like, oh, that person is an adult.
It's an adult.
Like especially when we were in school.
Oh, 100%.
I'm just like, oh my God, you got a job? I was like, when like literally like right out of school, I got a job, and I was like, this is just what this is.
Yeah, this is just part of the game.
Yeah.
We're playing the game. That's why part of me is like, part of me enjoyed the first dip into freedom, but then that's when like it kind of like, have you ever watched SpongeBob and it's like Squidward gets to the place he wants to be, and then the montage of him doing everything, like his whole day, just a montage, and you see him go from like to like, oh, okay, this is just mundane. I feel like that's what adulting is. Like I feel like when you're 18 and 20, you're like, I'm so ready to fucking the world, and then by the age of 25, you're like, yo, this is kind of like become a little too.
The mundaneness starts freaking you out.
Yeah, the mundane does start freaking you out.
Because you're just like, oh shit, is this just what life is?
Yeah, exactly. Is this just a never-ending loop of like, I don't know. But I feel like that's why part of me like, and then tapping into this is why I like doing stuff like this. This is why I like playing music. This is why I like. It's like, I don't want to be conformed to like. I mean, obviously, I wanted to succeed, right? Like this. I know you say that. This is for fun for me, but like.
But yeah, we still have like the goal of it succeeding.
And I'll be honest, I could go even harder, but at the same time, I'm taking my time to enjoy it because I came from a part where I didn't enjoy it, and then I lost it, and then and then
you didn't know we used to have another podcast. Just like that soccer show.
Yeah, we're starting that shit back up now.
Yeah, we on hiatus.
Yeah.
Hiatus.
We're trying to broker a deal with ESPN.
But even for example, with that, like it's a life happened, and there's reasons why you're in hiatus. Yeah. I'm just like, but it's one of those things that I'm just like, y'all could easily jump back to it. It's not like something like it's not.
Nah, yeah. It's not like it's never done forever.
Yeah.
To me, that's the thing. Is like gotta.
It's crazy to think that like people will be like, oh well, it's been gone for so long. Why would you bring it back? I'm like, that's why even like about even about like off center. It's technically gone.
It's technically gone. Hey.
Or like about thoughts. It's technically gone. Who's to know? Except me.
But at the same time, it's like that's the whole point. Is like, okay, cool. If like without thoughts, we wouldn't have learned how to do all this. Does it make sense?
Thanks to all the thoughts out there.
But that's the part of like, again, that's like the whole in your 20s, you figure it out type shit.
Yeah.
And then that's when like you lock the fuck in your 30s.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I don't know. I don't believe. I mean, obviously, social media wise, like, haha, like, unk status. That's what's up. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's like, look, eventually you're going to be in our position, and you better hope.
I just started hearing that, I would say in the past, like, year or two, where, like, if you're in your 30s, you're considered like, unk status. Just so you know, I've been unk since I was 15 years old. Some of my siblings don't like to wait.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, it's just like this is what, honestly, this is gonna sound weird. Doing shit like this is what keeps me young in a weird way, and not being like young as like I'm in tune with the youth. I mean young as in like it brings this. I don't know how to explain it. Like this.
We're not the chopped huzz yet.
It's like I don't know, dude. It's like that excitement of doing something new, but it's still like old. You know
I feel like that's how I am when like, because again, my things that like I like watching a lot of streamers, and like I feel like I'm more in tune with like younger people's vernacular because streamers have to be, and like it's just like everywhere for me. So I'm just like, a lot
skibidi
of
toilet.
that is old now.
that was the joke, Louis. let me break it down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do improv in my life. We talked about theater kids. I was not one of them, as much as you want to call me.
You were a closeted theater kid.
Yes, I
you
was.
wanted to shine.
But there's one in your life that has showed me not to be.
But I don't know, dude. That's my thing. What do you think, Yayo?
What am I gonna say? I don't know. I also what about 30? 30. I don't know. Part of me. Well, I always go kind of.
Because also you're now in like, you've been 30 now for a whole year.
Yeah, and I'm 31 now. I don't know. It's kind of cynical of me, but when I was younger, I kind of grew up like idolizing a lot of like rock and roll stars. So I always never really thought about getting to 30. I always thought I was gonna die at 27 or something.
Kurt Cobain.
He was like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, so
like, he thought he was gonna disappear. Like goddamn.
I was gonna write a suicide note and everything.
Blowish.
He was gonna ride away in the wind like Bob Dylan, and no one knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I'm gonna be one of those people and say I think he got killed, but
I think he got killed. That's my take on it. I think he got killed. But I think I agree with you. Like, the people that I idolized, they were like, I guess my age now, like in the cusp of becoming 30. Like everybody that I like music wise or even famous wise, which is not a lot of people. Like when I fell in love with them, they're like, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator 2.
Shout out to Arnold. Me and him have the same birthday.
Yeah. So like, dude, him 35, 36, he was fucking killing it.
Yeah.
That's to me peak Arnold.
Even going to that, like, I was just gonna call him Rocky Balboa, but Sylvester Stallone. He didn't do Rocky till he was like, in his upper age.
Yeah,
I was like, and literally
his upper age.
I don't know how old he was. That's why I said, 2, 3, I don't know if he was in his 20s or in his 30s. That's why I don't know how old he was.
Damn.
But he didn't do like Rocky till later on, and literally it got passed around, and like he was like gun ho about like, no, this is how I want to make it, and I'm going to do it this way. First movie, and he it won an Oscar. That's crazy.
I want to check how old he was, Sylvester.
When he did Rocky?
Stallone.
Crazy.
But
now that I made it to 30, and I don't have anybody else to look up to, so now I'm gonna try to die at 35 like Jesus Christ,
And then
I'm gonna see if this resurrection thing's
it's a vibe.
I felt like it was a lie. There's no way.
3 days later, come back as a bunny. Easter baby. So actually, you were right. Sylvester Stallone was 30 when he filmed the original Rocky movie.
Straight 30, right?
And bro, have you heard the story of how all the shit he had to do for that?
I've heard it in passing. I can't pull that out of the top of my head.
He literally was in his shitty apartment. Every day he would camp out at this office to sell his script, and
nobody wanted it.
Nobody wanted it. Nobody cared. So what he ended up doing is like, you know what, dude? I'm just gonna sell almost everything that I have, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Damn,
and then, dude, and what's crazy is that, dude, I remember. I think I saw an interview. Damn, I need to send y'all the link. But he's like, literally, he sat down, and his only person that would help him write was his dog. He would like, he would talk to his dog. He's like, what do you think? What do you think?
Like, that's how goddamn. That's what drugs will do.
Yeah. But if you see a dog in the Rocky movie, that's his real dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a dog.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because to him, like, dude, it took a lot of money, but that movie is what made him a star. Like, his whole time he wanted to be an actor, but nobody cared. And it was up to him to be like, you know what? If I can't get scripts, I'm gonna make my own script, and I'm gonna be number one, the director and the star, and I'm gonna make this happen. That's to me what age of 30 does. It removes.
It kind of locks you in.
It locks you in. It removes this doubt that you have in your 20s. Because honestly,
hold them up. The pressure's still a thing. I can vouch for this.
To me, I don't know.
Doubt will not leave you.
Really? I feel like it's left me a little bit.
I would say to an extent, but like, you can still have those kind of those thoughts, because I for sure do at times.
Yeah, but you don't have always a chip on your shoulder. You know what I mean? The chip on your shoulder slowly starts to lessen.
Starts to chip away.
Because I remember when I was like, I mean, I'm 29, right? But like, during the come up, dog, I was very like, anybody else gets anything, it's like they're taking food out of my table type shit. But now I don't look at it that way because in that time I was like, dude, I have to. It's like if this is, do or bust type shit.
You Buddy Rabbit.
Yeah.
Trying to make it out of Detroit. I got one shot.
Yeah, dude. Literally, that's
This
how.
man's name is real name's Clarence. And Clarence got some real good parents.
Let us know. What do you think? Is 30? I think 30 is the perfect age to like go for
I
stuff.
think maybe 30 is the new 20. You know?
I
Just
agree.
end it.
'Cause you
Just
can't
take
know
out.
shit.
Just take yourself out. Just end it.
Be like Kurt Cobain, get murdered by your girlfriend.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, because
And thank you for showing up on our episode of Scraps.
Yeah. Thank you, Jayo, for jumping on. It was the first
maybe
guest.
Sometimes you guys will show up on ours when we come back, but
Hey,
talk to our
if y'all
lawyers,
trying to
talk
ship
your
me to
lawyers.
Utah, I'll go to Utah.
If I get my flights and lodging,
You
and
know
the per
what?
diem.
I'm a bougie bitch.
Oh, my God. But this has been Scraps.
See you next time. Peace.
Peace out.